Imagine this. Hundreds of federal officers flooding the streets of Washington, D.C. in a high-stakes effort to combat crime. But here's where it gets intriguing. What happens when data suggests violent crime is already at its lowest point in decades? This is precisely the scenario unfolding as the Trump administration ramps up law enforcement presence in the nation's capital. On August 9th and 10th, an unprecedented deployment of 450 federal officers from 18 different agencies hit the busy streets of D.C. These officers came from heavyweight agencies like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, and the Secret Service. The move was part of a broader push by President Donald Trump to address public safety concerns in the city. However, it raises some thought-provoking questions. Is this surge truly necessary, or is it more about sending a message? Interestingly, statistics show that violent crime in Washington, D.C. dropped by a staggering 35% in 2024 compared to previous years. In fact, according to official figures compiled by the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, this marks the lowest level of violent crime in over 3 decades. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia even celebrated this milestone, calling it a 30-year low in a press release. So why the sudden influx of federal resources? Reports suggest that the Trump administration has temporarily reassigned 120 FBI agents to patrol the streets of D.C. during nighttime hours. Both the Washington Post and the New York Times covered this development, highlighting how these agents are joining forces with other federal personnel to tackle issues such as drug trafficking and illegal weapons possession. When questioned about the initiative, White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson confirmed the heightened federal presence, emphasizing its focus on addressing violent crime. She also noted that within just a few nights, these officers had made significant strides in deterring criminal activity, making arrests and confiscating dangerous substances and firearms. But this isn't the end of the story. President Trump seems ready to expand his efforts further. He hinted at a major announcement scheduled for August 11th, teasing a White House news conference centered around 2 themes: crime reduction and urban beautification. In a social media post, Trump framed this upcoming initiative as not only targeting crime, murder, and death, but also focusing on restoring the aesthetic appeal of the capital city. He described plans to clean up neglected areas and renovate parts of the city to bring back its former glory. And this is the part most people miss. The initiative doesn't stop at crime. It extends to another controversial topic: homelessness. In a bold statement posted online, Trump declared that homeless individuals must relocate immediately from the vicinity of the Capitol. While promising alternative accommodations, he stressed that these would be located far from the heart of the city. This stance has sparked heated debates among advocates for the unhoused, policymakers, and everyday citizens alike. So, what do you think? Is the deployment of federal officers justified, given the existing downward trend in violent crime? Or does it represent an overreach of executive authority? And how should we balance the need for public safety with compassion for vulnerable populations like the homeless? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective.